Richtig.
Hi.
Hey, richtig.
First time in my life I wear glasses. So I got glasses this week at Wednesday, and totally new information come in my brain. So, and I noticed the last years I was blind in a way, physical to see. And yeah, maybe took capacity. This, yeah. And I have a question to this physical seeing. So I see more details now. And I remember a teaching from you, and I received it through Gaia 10 years ago. It's about using this physical eyes like holes to allow that the world drops in. So I noticed in the past I was stressed to figure out because I couldn't see really. And now I see these details. Can you please talk about this teaching?
It's not a teaching, it's just an invitation to play and see what happens for yourself. So, you know, for those of us that have sight, it's our most predominant sense. And for those of us that have eyes that see, it's our most predominant, our most dominant sense. And so, and for most of us, we've been conditioned to a habit of seeing where we see objects. When we're born, it's not like that. That's something that's learned. You could say it's conditioned. So one possibility is like there's a way of relaxing the eyes where the light can just come in. We don't have to look to see. The light comes in by itself. We don't have to name and know what it is that we're looking at. We can just let the information come in without needing to give name and form and like that. And it's kind of relaxing, and just to play with it, and then just see how that invites the whole nervous system to be in the moment. So you know, it's an experiment. So you just playing and seeing for yourself. For some people who, because you know, in a way, there's a way that the eyes have been used to try to control our experience, control how close people come, how far out we keep people, and all that stuff. So it's just interesting to play and then just see and feel what happens to the sense of separation, the sense of boundaries, whether just by that simple experiment, something shifts in all of that. And then if you want to include, you can recognize that seeing is happening. But then if you look to see who is it that's seeing, I mean, you can easily find that seeing is happening, but if you start looking for who is seeing, you can't really find that. You can only find that seeing is happening, and there's awareness of seeing. But you can't really find anyone that's seeing.
So there's no Rishi. Just seeing.
It's kind of also can be interesting just to play, to see if you could find where seeing actually happens.
Where seeing happens?
Where? Yeah, where? So, like usually we go to something we've heard, okay, it's happening in the brain somewhere, or but just to stay with that inquiry, okay, where does seeing happen? It's like somehow something's going on, there's, and it's, does it happen inside or outside or where exactly? It's like it's appearing in awareness.
In a way, the whole body is seeing.
Yes, and it's been interesting lately. There's been a few videos on Facebook where they train kids that they can see even when they got blindfolds on. They can see colors, they can see numbers. It's like it's quite a deep inquiry. But it's something, for most of us, we just take it for granted. Okay, it's the eyes that are seeing, and there's a certain habit of seeing subject to object that produces a sense of separation. And there's not a recognizing that that's conditioned, that's not how we were born, for sure not.
Is there a difference between seeing and knowing?
Good question. Seeing. Yeah. Like, we're in this field of information and we're receiving information. You can say there's a certain way where it seems like most of it comes through the eyes, but when it gets quieter, you start to see everything is receiving. And it's not so linear and, like.
So I learned knowing is about the third eye. Third eye is always open and when we are willing to know.
I mean, to me, if we really look at what is it that we actually know, all we know is that I am actually.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. Because the moment is, like the experiencing is changing every moment. It's different, and so, and we can't even describe it actually. And then there's, kind of the conditioning that we're supposed to know what's going on when we don't actually.
So this knowing is more not knowing.
In a way that the knowing is just that, I am. And then the information, yeah, we don't know. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on in our own bodying activity. We don't know what's going on in the universe. We don't know what's going on. And that's kind of relaxing in a certain way, except for the conditioning that he's supposed to know or should know or something like that. Then it feels freaky.
And everything appears in me.
And just to be clear, that me is everything that appears in awareness, but which we can't say where it is or what it is. Yeah.
So to know the self is not knowing. Would you agree?
It's actually, it's to know the self is that's the only thing that you can know, that I am. But what I am, we don't know. We can't say where it is or what it is. Try.
But we are it.
That's what we know. We are.
Yeah.
But where that is, or where the boundaries to that is, or where it begins and ends, or anything, we can't say anything about it. Try. Don't believe me at all. Just see for yourself. Yeah. Papaji had a story that he liked about Kabir. Kabir was the saint that lived in India, and he was walking somewhere, and an accident happened in front of him, so he was called into court to testify. And when they asked him, he said, "That which saw doesn't speak, and that which speaks didn't see." So he was excused. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Alexandra.
Hi, Isaac. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I would just like to rest with you. I experience tension, anxiety, and headaches. So,
Okay.
very intense week for me, and would just like to rest, if that's okay.
Yeah, always great to rest.
Thank you.
The resting really is resting. There's no, just taking rest. No agenda. Either the system calms down or it doesn't. You're not trying to, you're just resting. Usually what happens is your system will come into resonance with my system. But it's not a doing, it just either happens or it doesn't happen. It's not something you can make happen.
Yeah, there's this constant push that I have to.
Yeah. And just to notice that. A simple way of speaking it is who you are, you already are. And then, there's old information, old habits of attention, old whatever playing. But so who you really are, you could say there's just a resting as that here. And then your system kind of is invited through that to just rest, actually. Not trying to get anywhere because you're already here. So it's just like the activities that have been going on that get in the way of just resting start to show themselves or can show themselves, etc.
Yeah, I feel or experience that there's this, like, somewhere I'm going deeper and deeper, but also the mind, whenever I feel like I get a, I connect with the I amness, the mind grabs the concept and turns it into something unsafe, and that's just a constant thing which is happening. And
yeah. So that's it. Like you're just watching it. It's like like your system is checking it out. Has a taste of something, and then there's a response of the nervous system based on who knows what that is, where it comes from, because it's, in some ways, when we're not used to it, it can feel like losing ourselves, like there's no boundaries, there's no me here, all of that stuff, and that can be, wow, the whole life being, you have to be someone, you have to know what's going on, and when that contraction kind of relaxes, it's like, wow, what's left?
Yeah, I recognize that. Like it's a constant movement forth and back, and
Yeah. That's okay, just to recognize it. It's just like, whatever that mechanism is, it's trying to keep you safe. It's not wrong, it's not bad, but you're just checking to see then if that movement actually keeps you safe, and if it's necessary in this moment. If it's necessary, of course, it has to happen. But if it's not, then it's just, you could say, some old. Like if you cut off a chicken's head, it still runs around for a while. So,
yeah, I can feel more relaxation and tiredness coming.
fantastic. And with no effort, right? There was no doing to it. It's just hanging out. Yeah. The experience of this moment is here. We can't really get away from it. It's already here. But yet something tries to get away from it, which just makes trouble. It's funny.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and it's so unnecessary, but somehow necessary for that thing.
Mm. Nice to feel you. Yeah, it's ever present. Thanks.
Thank you, Isaac. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Mustafa.
Hi, Isaac.
Hey.
Hi. What is that sweetness? I just wanted to let you know that I will not be able to attend next 1 month. About I will be traveling with my mom.
Okay. Yeah.
So my mom actually wants to go to pilgrimage to Makkah, which is a religious performance for about 3 weeks or about a month. And she wanted to do it with me. And so I
Yeah.
am not attached to these religious things, but just wanted to fulfill her wish. So,
Lovely. Beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Thanks for letting me know.
and just I wanted to know, do you have any guidance for me during this period? I will not be able to attend the satsang and I will be
You know,
traveling in.
and it's traveling with your mother too, where a lot of the inheritance of old information and old trauma. So for me, it's always simple, like all we have is a moment. That's all we ever have. And just a simple noticing where something automatically and consciously contracts. We don't know why. We don't have to know why. We can never really know why. Just watching where contraction happens, honoring it. Thank you for trying to help. Thank you for trying to, help me. But just checking to see if the contraction is useful or necessary. If that's the only thing you use this time for, it will be very rewarding. Just watching where some habit of your mother's and something new contracts.
It's very physically very hectic and driven because there are hundreds and
Yeah.
thousands of people up there, and
Yeah.
it's very hectic things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she is almost 80 years old, so yeah, taking care of it.
And so again, you're coming into a different field.
Mhm.
And so, like you say, it's hectic, but there's also a lot of beliefs and a lot of positions and a lot of,
Yeah.
and so just a field, and then just noticing where anything in your system contracts or tries to separate.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all. I mean, it's like that. That's what I guess until our last breath, that's what our opportunity is. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a lot of rituals and other things. So, and
Exactly.
at this
Yeah.
at this stage, I am not personally attached to it.
Mhm.
So just resting is the only thing, and we are what we are. So, but I need to go through this just
Yeah.
for my
Yeah.
mom. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank
Good
you
luck.
for your. And upon return, actually, I will look forward to seeing you in Margaret River.
Okay.
So then next month, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for the guidance.
Yeah. Thanks, Mustafa.
Hello,
Hello,
Isaac.
Monica. Yeah,
How are
Monica.
you?
Hi. Good, thanks.
Long time no see.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's freezing here. I'm in Sydney now. It's freezing. So is it
Okay.
cold up there?
It's
A little bit
cold.
warmer.
Cold. Yeah, I mean, it's mildly cold, not freezing.
Yeah, it's much better in winter up there. Um, so yeah, it's interesting. I was going to mention my mum as well. So I'm back in Sydney because my mum's old and she got sick.
Okay.
And most of the things that I've ever shared with you, I feel like are from my family, obviously, like the patterns and so I've come back, looked after her really well, and then I broke my foot. So now I'm stuck at home with her. So yeah, it's the worst nightmare. It's like she can't walk, I
Actually,
can't walk.
yeah, but yeah.
It's
you
really
know,
bad.
yeah, so again, I would just say, yes, in one way it's bad, but in another way it's an opportunity just to gently notice. There's no special way to be. You don't have to be a saint or anything like that. You're just there noticing where, like you could say, where a lot of the patterns were passed on. And so you're just there and you're just watching how your system learned them, and just being gentle with it, just not to change them, not to fix them, not to get rid of them, just to be gently aware.
Yeah. Yeah. I try and
And
do that, but
I would say there's no mistakes, somehow this is exactly
where it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. I would have much rather be up there, but anyway, at the beach or yeah, I had a job because I started an intern program because my degree finished and set up, and it all happened like something just wanted me to stop, everything was just not working, and here I am slowing right down. But my mum's very stressed. She's a very stressed person as well. She's quite like her nervous system's quite up, and my brother's here as well, and he's the same. But anyway, so I'm trying to not let that affect me, and I'm trying to have my own space. I've sort of, set up my own room and that. But yeah, I'm just wondering to what extent do we get affected again?
So rather than trying to not let it affect you, just noticing how it does. And it doesn't affect you, it affects your nervous system, just to make that distinction. So you're just watching, you're in a field of information, and your system has developed ways of dealing with that, because that's what you grew up in. And so your system found its compensations to manage to survive in that field. And a lot of times those compensations are so habitual, we never notice them. They're just playing in the background. And a lot of times at quite a cost. So it's an opportunity just to watch how your system survived that. It's not, just really curious. Wow. This was, the vibe your system grew up, stress and speed. And somehow your system managed to survive it. How do we know? Because you're here. That it's curious. How did it do that? What did it do? And at what
It actually
price?
turns out it's good for you, a bit of stress, because my mum survived all her friends. They're all dead, but she's still alive, 86 this year. So much stress just keeps her going, I think, but no, seriously, you're right. It's I don't know. But I know that it's just recently we had a disagreement, and I get this thought, I've got to run, I've got to get out, I've got to go. But and just recently with the feet that I broke my foot, like I was exercising too much, and I've always done that in my life. And it's been for that reason, to get out. Like I'd, the anger that I felt in my family, I just press it out through the pavement as I was jogging, I'd dance every day of the week to relax. And but maybe, it could be other reasons. Maybe it's just something I need for myself. But anyway.
But beautiful to notice. So you see there's a correlation, yeah?
Yeah.
That's one of the ways that your system compensated. And it's not wrong or not, it's actually a fairly healthy compensation. But
except now I realize I've hurt my body too much, I've just pushed my body too much.
Yeah. And so you're here now and you're just watching. Okay, great. Honoring, that's how it managed to survive. It was automatic. You didn't sit down and think out, how can I survive this? That's just what your system did to survive it. And so okay. And now life organized perfectly that you can't get away. So, and it's good that you haven't lost your sense of humor.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something funny though. I used to laugh at you. You'd always just do Feldenkrais, and I just like so many times want to say to you, you've just got to exercise, Isaac. It's good for your health. It's good for you, and then for your condition, that you just, anyway. But yeah, I'm crazy. But so now I can just do a little bit of Feldenkrais, I guess. That's pretty much all I can do. And I did buy my mobility scooter yesterday, so that's probably pretty funny. So I'm out now, out on the pavement, because I just thought I could see myself falling into a hole. I was like, I've got to get outside. So yeah, I bought this, like, it's like a golf cart, and you just sort of like go, like, it's so embarrassing, but I got over it, and it's my savior. I go out for an hour every day with my dog on this thing. It's ridiculous. What has my life turned into, you know? Like
But you
it's
can
like
see-
whose
so-
life, right? Hmm?
Yeah. So you're just watching. For you, getting out it's the way your system recalibrates and grounds itself. Nothing right about it, nothing wrong about it, just noticing. There's something happens in your system. I got to get out. And so you just watch that moment, just watching what's happening. It's not right, not wrong, not, it's just like,
Yeah, because
you're
I
not
don't
a
need to
victim.
get out, really.
Yeah, you're not a victim of circumstance, but
Yeah.
it seems that way. And so okay, it's just an opportunity.
Yeah. And then everything's okay. But I just wanted to unpack. The reason I want to talk is because I want to unpack what just happened, like, briefly, like the pattern in my mum of, like, self-hate that she has, or I know that I have that as part of me, and I've struggled with that, but I know that she's got low self-esteem, and she puts herself down a lot. So I've seen that in her. But she'll say things to me like, when you're a kid, you should have done it there, you should have done it this way, you should have done it. And so she just said that to me now. Anyway, I came to lie down, I walked away, I got away, and I noticed that self-hate somehow got internalized inside of me. That it's not really self-hate, it's criticism, but it becomes this, like, way I bash myself up with it. I turn it in, and then also hurting my body by exercising. It's another way that I, displace it into pain. I'm hurting myself,
Yeah. So
it doesn't seem so big, like someone to say, you should have done this. Why didn't you do it yesterday? Instead of, like, but because you've had it all your life.
Yes, it touches something. It touches something. And, it's, again, it's not yours particularly. This is generational. So you're actually you're in a, how could I say, a field of info that goes back generations.
Yeah.
And so, you're just watching it, so somehow, I'm sure almost everybody knows that, like, how our systems respond to so-called criticism, or quality of attention that is not really healthy. But it's just like, okay, somehow our system has identified with it by trying to avoid it, but trying to, and so there's an opportunity now. Okay, look, this is just, you could say, a projection. It's usually, there's no bad intention in it, but it actually has had repercussions for us in that our system received it as if it was threatened our survival. So it has an element of trauma to it, so it's beautiful for it to unwind itself. So you're there and just watching gently.
But yeah, so I noticed that I do it to my brother sometimes as well, that he should try to make him be a bit different, to do things differently. And now I can see even that slight thing, and he'd say to me, you're always criticizing, you're always against me. Everything I do is, and I'm like, really? Like, all I'm just trying to get you to do is do it this way. But now I see.
So you see, so and you can see that it's not you that's doing it, because it's not conscious. It's an unconscious pattern playing. So your system was conditioned in that way, and it responds, and it's so used to doing it, it didn't even know it was doing something that was actually unpleasant for him. And now you're seeing, wow, okay, well, I didn't mean anything by it. I actually had good intention in it, and you're seeing actually it's different than that. And how beautiful! So it's a really really fantastic opportunity. I mean, it doesn't, I know it's not comfortable, that's for sure, but you're in it. Yeah.
Not to
You
mention the
know,
physical discomfort of having a
yeah,
thing cast on my foot.
yeah.
Anyway,
But,
this is what truth
but
does.
also, yeah, and the beauty is that you've seen, and you've seen quite deeply, and so you have an opportunity for your whole generation back, to just be present to this in a different way that allows it to kind of, that information to calm down and integrate.
Seen.
But
Yeah, integrate. Yeah.
be seen, yeah.
I don't imagine a life though, because I never grew up. I mean, some other people may have had different childhoods, but I can't imagine a life where that doesn't happen, where there's no judgment about other people and what people, you know, the way people do things. I don't know how to be like that. But all I know is that, you know, like
Yeah, that's okay. That's
just to
okay.
let
You know,
things be, just everything's
Yeah.
okay, right? Everything's okay as it is. No one needs to change or do anything really when you're at peace.
Mm.
But the whole
Yeah.
world is trying to tell you what to do. And because
Yeah.
they said, or she said, or it said, or, you
Mm.
know,
Yeah.
but it's really,
Good.
really bothering me.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I guess I
Yeah,
just have to
so-
let it calm down. I don't
Yeah.
know. But yeah, it's
Mm,
all
yeah.
around me and it's just here. Okay. Just let it be here. It'll dissolve. Yeah. All right. Thank you. You got green on again, favorite color.
Ah, cool. Yeah, I like it.
See ya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, Monica. Maria. Hi.
Yes, okay. there's something happening.
Yeah.
You know, you see. And it's, I'm not sure if it's necessary, but like in overwhelming. And in this overwhelming, losing my own interest. Or it's not it's even not an interest, it's losing the resting in it. And yet this could also be a mind thing. To put the attention in something that's not necessary.
I would say.
There is also a seeing for a few weeks that quietness is is always here, even when I'm speaking. But it isn't possible to make it that I could see it. It's in the brain that I have seen, but it's not working to say, now I'm looking for quietness. I could say, but if it is happening, I don't have no. The same is with overwhelming or whatever happens. It's the same. I mean, have no. I couldn't do anything. And there's this body thing that's sometimes hurting when I'm walking or I do something with in a special way. And there's a searching for learning with it or for learning to see through. When I read, I could see that you aren't the body, but when it is hurt, yes, but it hurts too. And there is the wish that it could stop, and this wish to go with this wish and to think things that are helpful for it. Well, so
How's it in this moment?
Fine. All is well.
Ah, certainly. Certainly.
Hello, beloved.
Hmm. Ah, Shanti. And then Susanna afterwards, but Shanti now.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi, Shanti.
It's like a warm bath. Thank you, Isaac.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi.
There are two things. One is this really deep, deep sinking and resting. And on the other hand, is something that troubles the system really a lot, and which is always yeah, or I lose this deep knowing or resting or love.
So somewhere, something in the nervous system does something. Just see if you can locate what it does. Just gently noticing where.
It's somehow contracting. It's the throat, underneath the tongue, the back.
Yeah.
It feels like under the whole skin and in the belly.
Yeah, beautiful. So you notice it. You
Yeah.
see it. You check. Is it you that's doing it?
No.
No, it's just happening. Yeah? So you're honoring it. There's a contraction happening. And honoring that contraction. Somehow it's there. We don't know where it comes from, where you picked it up, how many generations back it goes. We just don't know. All we know is there's another thing where there's a habit. You could say an old habit.
Yeah.
Under the skin, in the throat, and you're just tracking it. It's like, it's grateful that it's revealing itself. It's old compensation somewhere.
Yeah.
When you could say life looks through that, the feeling sense of the perspective of looking through that contraction is there's something wrong with me somewhere.
With me, and life is threatened, and I have
life,
to
yeah.
do what everybody else wants. And
Yeah. So you can see it's an old survival trauma, whatever, So and you're feeling it and sensing it, how it's sat in the nervous system, and you're honoring it. It doesn't mean anything about you. You didn't ask for it. You probably can find it in your ancestry, in your parents, and maybe other relatives. Who knows? It's such a common. It's generic. It plays in almost everybody in some form or other, some permeation. So you're just gently noticing it and seeing it and feeling it. And there's something lovely happening in my body, just as I'm sitting with you now, where something is discharging a little bit. So just see if you can pick up on that. It's not necessary, but I didn't look for it. Suddenly I just noticed it started to happen. So
yeah.
just honoring that's how your system survived. It's not wrong or bad. It's just somewhere along the line it inherited that or It seemed very personal. It seemed all of that.
Yeah, seems very personal.
Mhm.
Well, it seemed.
I'm just feeling in this moment. How is it? But you're checking. Is it the same? Is it different? Something else?
Well, it's really like swimming through the legs or some releasing happening.
Beautiful. Yeah. My feet are tingling. All
Yeah.
the good symptoms. Yeah.
Yeah. And something in the body gets softer.
Mm.
Like coming back to life somehow.
Beautiful.
Yes. Mm. With that, a new layer arises with thoughts. What I have to do to that this will never happen again, or what I have to do to solve the problem.
Just watch those thoughts come and come and let them go.
And a big layer arises that it's really somehow it's forbidden to enjoy somehow.
Such an interesting, like, recognition of that, where enjoyment is forbidden. It's like, how would you get people to consciously agree to that? You could never. It has to be kind of through the back door, yeah? Somehow. Religious beliefs, cultural beliefs.
Yeah, that it feels like something very terrible would happen if
Mm.
enjoying is here.
Mm.
Thank you.
Right. Then you can maybe recognize that there's a pattern that plays, it is in the direction of how am I doing? How am I doing? How am I doing? How am I doing? Like this is, yeah. So just noticing, very familiar pattern. or whatever that, that entertains that thought, or you could say revolves around it, is what we would call ego. It's just a referencing mechanism that plays, that produces some sense of me in this vastness of who we actually are. How can we actually measure how we're doing? What would measure that?
Well, there is a knowing, or there's not a knowing. I mean, I know I don't know, because I knew. How am I how am I doing?
Yeah.
Or who am I? But then there was this moment that I knew exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then this is an image that's still there. Like, I know I'm not knowing now. I'm not having this, there's not this clarity. Something like that. Something like that. So
what that which says this clarity is not here now, what is it that says that?
yeah, well, that's a sense of me. That's
Okay, cool, yeah.
it's never sufficient, never enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Tomorrow, by the way, my twin sister is in the country. She flew in
Cool.
last Tuesday,
Cool.
and she's coming here in the house tomorrow.
Yeah.
She'll be staying here in Holland for 6 weeks. So
Fun.
this is always there's some sort of a feeling that I'm more complete then.
Okay.
Like as if it's missing, because
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah,
So we'll see what happens.
yeah, indeed.
I love it when you say, what a beautiful opportunity, when you said it to Alexandra or to Monica, you know, all those troubles and all those thoughts and things, and that beautiful opportunity to be able to see gently. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Thanks.
Thank you.
Feet. It's a
Yeah.
joint. Oh, there you go. I see.
You see. Hi.
Cool. I see.
What a lovely session again. What a beautiful session. Yeah. Thank you.
Prem Abba. And then Plants after. So Prem Abba now. Hi.
Thank you, Isaac.
Thank you, Prem.
Isaac, hi. I have kind of a feeling that this whole organization of sensations is turning towards itself. Kind of dissolving.
Yeah, it's so amazing how like a sense of who we are, a sense of life, a sense of thinking we know something. It's like, and it's like, what's it made of? It's not, it's like, it's just not much. Yeah.
Well, out of this perspective, it's
Yeah.
totally unnecessary to jump back
Yeah.
into. I also feel that it's old information, but without resistance. When the resistance is coming up, then I'm interested in dissolving it and doing something. But from out of this perspective, there is information, old information as well, but there is no resistance to it. So it's dissolving into itself. So.
By itself. Yeah.
everything is so close.
Mm.
Strange because the feeling of seeing is different than I know actually. Kind of seeing without a conclusion. Kind of, yeah, there's a kind of interest born in it as well. Hmm. Okay.
Yes, sir. Mm. Boss, thank you for hosting. Thank you for being here, beloveds.